What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? Well, certainly seems the universe might have been better off than when Peter Quill does.
Shut up!
BD here with your Easter eggs breakdown of What If Episode 2, the episode asking, what if T'Challa became Star-Lord? It was loaded with fun surprises and twists for a lot of MCU characters we already know and love, so we're gonna break that down and have my full reaction at the end of this video. Spoilers start now. The episode starts similarly to the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, having Star-Lord steal the Power Stone from Morag only to get greeted by Korath the Pursuer. The big difference here is that this Star-Lord is T'Challa of Wakanda and not Peter Quill of Missouri, and he's quite famous in this version. Korath is a huge fan of the legendary outlaw, and that's quite the opposite of this moment from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, which has created one of the best gifs.
Who?
In the first Guardians movie, Peter's little triangular bombs create a gravity suction to pull enemies into them, but T'Challa's version creates explosions, sending them away from it. We do get a version of Yondu killing Sakaran soldiers with his whistling arrow, much like the original movie, but under very different circumstances. The reason T'Challa became Star-Lord in this universe is because Yondu let Kraglit and Taserface carry out this Ravager mission on their own instead of going with them, and they detected traces of something not from Earth in Wakanda, and that's a reference to the Vibranium, which came to Earth from meteorite crashing into the African land. Thanos is a Ravager in this timeline, awesome, and big difference. T'Challa stopped him from erasing half of the universe from existence, which we know Peter Quill did not. Boom! Main MCU Star-Lord lost his cool and split from the plan to stop the Mad Titan when they almost had him in Infinity War, while T'Challa Star-Lord just talked him out of it. So that's quite a difference. T'Challa Star-Lord also stopped the Kree invasion on Drax's planet, which made Drax become a bartender instead of a Guardians of the Galaxy and Destroyer. And in this universe, I'm gonna guess that his wife and daughter, Yvette and Camaria, are still alive. The episode's mission is to retrieve the Embers of Genesis, not a comic reference, just a unique new element. Essentially a super seed that can replenish an entire planet. If this comes into the main MCU, maybe it's how we get Asgard back?
Asgard is not a place.
We see the members of the Black Order called by their comic book names for the first time after only going by Children of Thanos in Infinity War and Endgame. Also, captions show us that Cull Obsidian is referred to as Black Dwarf, also matching his comic book counterpart's name. Thanos has to fight them, and One Shot sees him catch Black Dwarf's hammer axe thing, and it's framed up similarly to how Spider-Man did the same thing in the beginning of Infinity War. Funny note, Yondu calls the Collector a creep show, and Yondu actor Michael Rooker is appearing in season 3 of Greg Nicotero's Creep Show, but that's unrelated, I just thought it was cool.
Hell yeah, he's cool.
In the Collector's Museum, we see Dark Elves from Thor the Dark World, Cosmo the Space Dog, and Howard the Duck. We also see during T'Challa's escape a Nova Corps ship, the Benatar ship that the Guardians use after the Milano is destroyed, but in this universe it stays parked along with the Milano, which is just fine seen in the left of the frame. Also parked there is the Sakaran ship from Thor Ragnarok and the Quantum ship from Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is the second Quantum reference in the multiverse stories of the MCU so far, after Yellowjacket's helmet appeared in Loki after Loki was pruned into a void. And left center of the frame, we might have some kind of Star Wars ship. That design looks very Star Wars-y. And there's also a possible Mos Eisley reference later in the episode when we see T'Challa and Howard the Duck walking past a bar. So Star Wars and Marvel might be playing nice with fun little meaningless crossovers. Yondu tries to tell T'Challa that he's just like him, a similar moment to his conversation with Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Karina gets revenge on the Collector, which is the opposite of her fate in Guardians 1, but interesting. This Collector has Cap's shield and Thor's hammer, a Cronin's arm, which could have belonged to Korg, and that's all in addition to Hela's helmet, so a lot of villains and heroes not exactly thriving in this universe. The sticky fingers bit where Yondu takes a beating to distract the enemy reminds me of Get Help from Thor Ragnarok, and also Tony Stark deceiving Thanos to get the Infinity Stones off of Thanos' gauntlet in Endgame. We end with Peter Quill being greeted by Ego at the Dairy Queen we saw get destroyed in Guardians Volume 2, and this seems like the setup for a big bad later in the show.
Big monster!
Reaction time. Overall, super fun episode. I thought it was leaps and bounds better than the premiere of What If. I actually think this should have been the first episode. This one felt fresher and more original, and it was entertaining with how much fun like Jaimin Hounsou had as a silly version of Korath, and I love me some Thanos with Josh Brolin's voice. Chadwick Boseman, tremendous job with this new take on T'Challa, and the episode's message with Yondu and Cha-Cha's conversation would have been powerful under better circumstances without us having lost Chadwick, but now the added layers with that, the emotion just really comes through really heavily. Also, I think I have a crush on this episode's version of Nebula, so. A good, fun, emotional episode that I already watched more than once, and I'm happy to know that Chadwick's T'Challa Star-Lord is in 3 more episodes, and I think this episode gave us the taste of what to expect over the through line, like the overarching plot of What If, and how some of these might actually tie into live-action projects in the MCU. Though it really does point out, like, Peter Quill Star-Lord, not a great Star-Lord apparently, even though I really love that character and think he's done some pretty awesome things. T'Challa Star-Lord just seems way more accomplished already. What Easter eggs and references did you catch in What If Episode 2? Drop them in the comments section or send them my way on Instagram at BrandonDavisBD, and leave a comment rating this episode out of 10 to let us know you watched this video till the end. Subscribe to the comicbook.com YouTube channel for more videos like this one, and download our MCU podcast Phase Zero if you want to join our awesome Marvel fan community. I'm BD. I'll see you there.